significant. Well, actually, you just had a top general undermine the administration's justification for the primary way that they've been trying to remove migrants, to deport migrants, including to a terrorism prison in El Salvador. This is the main justification behind the Alien Enemies Act, saying that a foreign state is invading the United States. Here, you have a top military official saying, well, actually, that's not the case. We're not under invasion. Completely undermines a major argument by the administration, and it also is backed by reporting that we did that found that intelligence assessments also found that the United States isn't being invaded by a foreign state, which probably many Americans that are living their average lives would say, well, of course, we're not being invaded by a foreign state.
So that was kind of where we set the table of the problem, that legal problem that the White House seems to be facing, particularly as Gavin Newsom is taking the Trump administration to court, kind of as we speak, in California on this very legal issue. And Pete Hegseth, the defense secretary, just said, what, David, about the courts?
Well, I think he was asked if he was going to follow a court order if it were to say that what the administration is doing with deploying Marines is not illegal, and he refused to answer whether or not he would follow a court ruling, whether it be a district court or the Supreme Court. Now, as you know, his boss often says he's going to follow the Supreme Court, basically, so I'm sure Pete Hegseth will follow anything Donald Trump says, but obviously this now raises yet again the question of one branch of government perhaps being willing, or at least not willing to commit to follow the other branch.
President Trump says the U.S. is being invaded. He's made that claim time and time again, first to justify deportations, and now he's saying that's why he needs to deploy troops to Los Angeles. Take a listen to Trump's speech to troops at Fort Bragg yesterday.
What you're witnessing in California is a full-blown assault on peace, on public order, and on national sovereignty carried out by rioters bearing foreign flags, with the aim of continuing a foreign invasion. And we will not allow an American city to be invaded and conquered by a foreign enemy. That's what they are.
That speech is being criticized for its overtly political and combative tone. It was initially meant to celebrate the Army's 250th anniversary. So, is the United States really being invaded? Well, Trump's top general doesn't seem to think so.
Is the United States being invaded by a foreign nation?
Sir, thanks for your question. I think at this point in time, I don't see any foreign state-sponsored folks invading, but I'll be mindful of the fact that there has been some border issues throughout time.
Is there a rebellion somewhere in the United States?
Sir, I think there's definitely some frustrated folks out there.
Joining me now, CNN senior military analyst and former NATO Supreme Allied Commander, retired Admiral James Stavridis. Admiral, thank you for joining us. There's actually a new piece in The Atlantic by Tom Nichols, and he says, quote, senior officers of the United States military have an obligation to speak up and be leaders when it comes to Trump's actions. Do you agree with that sentiment?
I think the onus is on all of us, everybody in society. It's not just the military's job, it's the job of everybody. Journalists, observers, writers, all of us need to observe the fact that no, we are not being invaded. No, there is not a rebellion in progress, and therefore there is no need to have active duty military troops called into our streets. That's something that doesn't require a senior military officer to observe.